What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by, and I do mean that. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with myself and this channel. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm going to try to keep you entertained with Eric's deck that many said, well, it's just not going to work. Why would you play a Lava Hound and a Miner and a Tombstone and expect to win tournament battles? But Eric has been doing it like crazy, and that is exactly what we are watching right here. Now, Eric has already taken a lot of damage on that right lane tower. He hasn't gotten the Lava Hound up yet. You can see it is there. You've got Poison also, the Mini P.E.K.K.A, minions, and I'm curious, as well as I'm sure you guys are, to see how he is going to make this work. But obviously, the Lava Hound arriving at the tower at the same time as a Miner can be a devastating combination. But first, Eric has to deal with another push, shuts it down relatively quickly, but the tower is down to about 1,200. And now here comes his first Lava Hound, dropped in the back right corner of the playing field. Any moment now, here it comes. There it is. All right, so Eric dropping it down the right lane, and let's see just how he is going to work this Lava Hound in towards the tower. Obviously, the key to a successful Lava Hound push is to have another unit or units at the tower at the same time, whether that be the Valkyrie, the Mini P.E.K.K.A, did I say Mini P.E.K.K.A? Well, the Mini or the Mini P.E.K.K.A, either one, getting to the tower along with those lava pups. But Alias 31 has taken down Eric's tower, and he's got a lot of ground to make up here. He did get the Lava Hound in along with the Valkyrie. Together, there they are, and that could be a big key. Sure enough, the poison spell wipes out the goblins, and that tower is almost down before the Lava Hound pops, and now the Lava Pups get the job done, finish it off, and suddenly Eric has tied this thing 1-1. So his opponent used the opportunity of Eric dropping down that 7 elixir investment in the Lava Hound to push hard against the right lane tower, and did succeed in taking it down. But the investment paid off. Eric got his dividends and tied the score. So now it's just the last 60 seconds, and we'll see if Eric can win this one with the Lava Hound Tombstone deck. And we really haven't seen a lot from the Tombstone yet. I personally am a big fan of the Tombstone. Love the fact that it can distract cards like the Mini P.E.K.K.A, like the Prince, especially the regular Prince. Even a regular P.E.K.K.A can stall on that Tombstone for a long, long time. There is the Lava Hound. Love the deployment. Now, why didn't I think of that? From the middle, like you might drop a Hog Rider or a Royal Giant, trying to get to the second tower. Such a short distance to close in on there. The Lava Hound moving in. Looks like all of the pups are going to focus on the tower and the units in the area. And, well, he did get some damage done, not a significant amount, but it keeps him pretty even, and it looks like we're going into overtime. Now, the Miner is going to get on Eric's left lane tower, and that's going to leave him with a bit of a hit point deficit before the Mini P.E.K.K.A gets in there. That time it was a Mini, not a Mini P.E.K.K.A. And with 3 minutes of overtime, we'll see if it works out. Mini P.E.K.K.A's facing off on the other side of the river there, and you have to know that Eric is just trying to set up another Lava Hound deployment, and here it comes right away. As soon as he hits 7 elixir, he's got that Hound down, and it's going to converge on the tower right at the same time as the Valkyrie does major damage, under 800 hit points left. The poison spell takes out all the small units in the area, and again, the Lava Pups are there to do the majority of the damage to the tower, just about getting it down. In comes a Miner next. A couple of shots from the Miner should finish the job, not quite, but here comes a Princess, and just one shot from the Princess at the Ice Wizard on the tower finishes the battle, and Eric wins it 2 crowns to 1. So the Tombstone maybe not instrumental in that first win, but let's take a look at another battle, this time facing a Sparky deck. Eric has the Lava Hound up in the starting hand, so we'll see how he chooses to play this from the very start. And sure enough, he's going to drop the Lava Hound first as soon as he hits 10 elixir. So this ought to be interesting to see, with the big card being the Sparky on the other side, and obviously the Lava Hound not going to target the Sparky or vice versa. In comes the Lava Hound, and a poison spell down early to help damage that elixir collector and maybe take out some small units that might have been put in there to battle the Lava Hound. The minions get in, they avoid the poison spell, but the Princess is there to take them down. Now Eric facing a Royal Giant down the left-hand side. The Tombstone gets in there, but not lasting as long as a cannon or even a Tesla. Goes down in a couple of shots, and the Giant is back on the tower. So a Royal Giant Sparky deck for Eric to face. Obviously, he has not yet seen the Sparky, so he doesn't know it's in store. But he's getting ready to maybe drop another Lava Hound. Elixir building up and the Lava Hound back in the hand. Sure enough, it's queued up. And again, probably, yes, coming down that right-hand lane. And at the same time, his opponent drops yet another Elixir Collector. So we might just see a rinse repeat of the first push, as the Poison Spell probably going to be able to grab both the Elixir Collector and the tower any moment here. Waiting, there it is. Okay, he goes to take the Princess out instead, and the Miner is going to go work on the Elixir Collector. Good job there. I like that move. Again, the Princess is going to work on the smaller units, getting those minions out of the way, and the Lava Pups, so devastating even after the Zap spell. Look at that tower go under 800 hit points after that second push. And that was all just the Lava Hound and the Lava Pups that got that tower so severely damaged. Another Royal Giant down the left-hand side, countered by the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and the minions, but not before Eric has actually fallen behind in the hit point race. Once again, we go into double Elixir, the final minute of this battle, and Eric is behind, but just by about 100 hit points. And there he goes with another Lava Hound. It's going to be a matter of getting the Hound to the tower and defending that left lane and preventing a 1-1 trade, which looks like it might happen, as the Royal Giant is going to lock onto that tower very quickly. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. gets in there, but not before the Royal Giant gets the job done. So maybe this deck of Eric's is proving to be a bit of a comeback deck, a 2-1 or 3-2 deck rather than a single crown winner. There is the Lava Hound exploding on the right-hand lane. The Princess again gets in the final shot, and despite the Royal Giant trying to stop things, it is tied up in the final 15 seconds, and Eric is dropping that Lava Hound down the left-hand lane, and the left tower is already pretty badly damaged. So now Eric suddenly in that hit point lead with the Princess. Once again, that great card to defend the Lava Hound, especially in combination with that poison spell. She can pretty much one-shot any smaller units. Instead, she turns to the right lane, helps defend against that Royal Giant. Royal Giant down, and this tower is in a world of hurt right now. The Princess is there. The Lava Hound again turning into pups. 700, 600, 5, 4, 3. The Miner is there, and this battle is over. Once again, Eric grabs it, 2 crowns to 1, and again in overtime. So this Lava Hound Tombstone, again, maybe I'm just going to eliminate the Tombstone. We don't see a lot of significant work coming from the Tombstone, at least not in those last 2 battles. Let's check it out again and see if maybe this is a true overtime deck designed to grab those last-second wins, as Eric leads off once again with that 7 Elixir Lava Hound. And get ready for it, the poison, sure enough. So a very easy-to-learn rotation right here, as that poison spell is used in support of the Lava Hound pretty much every time. This time grabs the tower, the Ice Wizard, and the Elixir Pump. Perfect placement right there. Getting all 3 units. A regular wizard drops in though, and he's going to get countered by the Miner countered by the Musketeer. You've got the Princess back there doing damage to everybody. The Lava Hound goes down, the Pup's in there, and this time not a lot of damage on that tower. The Mini P.E.K.K.A. on its way, could have been distracted by that Tombstone, probably would have been taken out by the tower alone. But here comes the Wizard, it's down. Here comes the Musketeer, she is going to fall as well. And with 2 minutes left, things are pretty close. Not a lot of damage done by Eric on his opponent, and neither one of Eric's towers are so much as touched, but that is about to change as the Hog Rider gets in, gets only 1 shot off on the tower though before that Mini P.E.K.K.A. finishes it off. And in the last minute and 40 seconds, Eric getting set up for another Lava Hound push. Any second now, I would imagine that's the next card up. Yes, it is. No, it's not. He chooses to deal with the push first. That was a wise decision. Got to stop those guys. The Valkyrie, the ideal card, gets it in there, and now he can get ready with the Lava Hound. He's got his poison and his Princess ready. The LPP combination that Eric seems to push towards that tower every single time with a lot of success, and his opponent investing an Elixir Collector on the far side of the battlefield. And maybe that is a mistake his opponents keep making, underestimating the damaging power of that Lava Hound should you allow it to get all the way to the tower, just like it did right there, unopposed on top of the tower. And even with the Wizard there, of course that Wizard is going to get countered, and by the time the Lava Hound goes down and the Pups appear, that Wizard is long gone. All sorts of damage is going to happen to that tower. Minions, Lava Pups, And this time with less than a minute left, no towers are down yet. The opponent was pushing down the same lane that Eric's been pushing down, so that's why we're not going to see a 2-1. It looks like Eric should be able to pull this out. The Tombstones now a great job on defense, just pouring out non-stop skeletons, slowing down that entire group of units. The Hog Rider again gets only one shot off on the tower. Now, Noir, his opponent, doing a great job of keeping pressure on and not allowing Eric to drop anything over there to finish off that tower, but it's just a matter of time before Eric can catch up and finally put together some sort of push. Here comes yet another Hog Rider, but there are so many hit points on that tower that it can withstand a big push like that from the Mini P.E.K.K.A., from the Hog Rider, from the Ice Wizard. And as they move forward, we are into overtime, but you know that Eric's just waiting for that opportunity. There it is. The poison spell dropped on the tower. The miner gets in there as well, and that is going to be GG as Eric grabs the win in overtime 1-0, again with this unusual Lava Hound Miner Tombstone deck. Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of the Lava Hound, but obviously right there, if it's played correctly, you can dominate with it. Just about any card, if it's played right, is going to be super strong. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you, as always, for sticking around watching the episode. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you in advance for hitting that thumbs up button, unless you already did. And I hope to see every last one of you back here again tomorrow for more Full Attacks.
Guys on, don't worry, I hit both thumb buttons for you. That's right.